this computer. Okay.
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 There you
Back
go.
to sharing screen. All right. So in volume one, I bring up biblical allusions in Psalm 25, and Exodus 32 to 34, Moshe's prayer and the covenant. Now, you all know 25. Please look at what AB is putting up. He doesn't stop. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. So,
Rabbi Cutler. Hey, that's Rabbi Cutler.
oh, that's who that is?
Yes, his grandson.
Very good.
EMG. Hello. Yeah, I hang out with the best.
So it's too funny. So yeah. So Mizmor 25 is the one you say every day whenever you say Tahanun. Are you all familiar with the Mizmor very well?
25. I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we
No, we don't have to
should
put
we
it.
just read the words real quick?
That's
Want to
Morris.
do that? We could do that. Let me see if I could find the beginning. 1 minute. Here we go.
How come we put our heads down?
How come what?
We bow our heads. Rabbi
That's
Shammah taught us.
Nefilat Apayim. That's
I know,
called Nefilat. You're bending over your head because you're in supplication to God to forgive you for your sins.
I know, but just that one. Just that Mizmor.
Just that Mizmor, because that is the Mizmor
Mm-hmm.
for Teshuvah, where the person is coming before God and asking Him for forgiveness, right?
So what's the rest of the Monday and Thursday stuff we say?
Just extras.
I don't know. Rabbi Shammah taught me when I was 17 to do that. It was a Gemara he read. I don't know.
Right, Nefilat Apayim. Does anybody else do Nefilat Apayim for the Mizmor?
He said people do it. Yeah, not many.
No, I'm asking into this class.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nobody's answering, so I guess that means nobody else does it. As noted at the conclusion of our study on Psalm 910, the Book 1 acrostics, like Psalms in general, it's on the screen if you're all looking, are optimally considered in sequence, each building upon the last. However, they are also optimally understood within the larger sequence of all of Book 1, each building upon prior Psalms and not just prior acrostics. Thus, some readers may find it that it's best to read this chapter right after the study of the first acrostic, etc., etc. We have shown how the first acrostic, comprised by the two-psalm unit of 910, looks at the problem of the persistence and prevalence of evil, grappling with malicious people and their vicious actions remains the focus of acrostics in Book 1. Psalm 25 presents us with the psalm also directs the behavior out of with a possible reaction to the unceasing onslaught of the evil fiends, loss of hope, and despair. The psalm also directs the believer. Well, you see, when you say it presents us with a possible reaction to the unceasing onslaught of the evil fiends, loss of hope and despair. There's a bit of Morris, would you say there's a bit of despair going on these days?
Yeah.
And you want to quickly elaborate what's bringing on this despair?
Rising anti-Semitism, irrational
Behavior.
accusations on Israel, and a war that everything that's happening. It's the world upside down.
Right.
Upside down. Did you see anyone see 60 Minutes yesterday. Oh
No.
my! It was like a Hamas advertisement. It was so scathing report against Israel.
Wow.
Crazy.
A scathing report against Israel.
I've never saw anything like it. Abi maybe saw it.
I
Also.
didn't see it. No.
Just
Who was the person on the?
that was just
the-
showing
Gaza.
the hospitals and the children, who were wounded, and interviewing the medical people in Gaza. It just made Israel look terrible. And they didn't interview one Israel. Everything was just Arab doctor or UNRWA, or it was
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
unbelievable. I wanted to throw a rock at the TV. It was terrible.
Yeah, so that the statement Psalm 25 presents us with a possible reaction to the unceasing onslaught of the evil fiends, loss of hope and despair. Despair, you get a sense, you get a feeling of despair. And Morris and Joe, you're both pointing it out. That's why I asked to make a comment, because it's a bit of what's circulating these days. The psalm also directs the believer out of that despairing situation into one of belief and hope in God. Well, how does it do that? How does it direct the believer out of that despairing situation? That's very related to what we're not going to do tonight, which is continue in 75. We already had two or three sessions building us up to the main point of 75, but we're going to hold off on that. The psalm also directs the believer out of that despairing situation. Let us review the content of 25 of the psalm. Psalm 25 is intimately related to the third acrostic, Psalm 34. These two are structured similarly and share an abundance of common terms and phrases. You're all aware of that, I'm sure. You all know Mizmor 34, you say it on Shabbat. Moreover, as we shall demonstrate in the present chapter, they are best read in dialogue with one another, as Psalm 34 builds upon the words of 25 in response to its statement. It will be suitable to begin with a review of 25. I'll take any one of you. Morris, you want to read and translate? Let's go through it real quick.
Okay, David.
So it's a one-word superscripture.
Yeah. Elecha Adonai nafshi eseh. O Lord, I set my hope on you.
Right.
Elohai
So
b'cha.
that's the opening thing. The number one thing about this Mizmor is Elecha Adonai nafshi eseh. To you, I lift up my soul. Right. In other words, I set my hope on you. When you say I turn to you, God, right? That already sets up the situation being very difficult, correct?
Yeah.
It's not just poetry opens up, no, to you. I'm turning to you, to you. I lift up my nefesh to you. That is
soul, more than
setting
my hope.
my soul, my very
Soul.
being. And then
Deeper.
the next words will be Elohai b'cha batachti. Now, by the way, of course, you see the acrostic, the Elecha, right? And now b'cha batachti, that's the bet. I trust in you. Go ahead, Morris.
My God, in you I trust. El Evosha. May I not be Al Evosha. May I not be disappointed. Al Ya Altsu Oivaili. May my enemies not exult over me. Gam kol kovecha lo yevoshu. Oh, let not none who look to you be disappointed. Yevoshu habogdim rekam. Let the faithless be disappointed, empty-handed.
Very good translation, by the way. They can. Boom, empty.
I'm just doing this off the top of my head.
Wait. I just want to say that let none who look to you be disappointed. Gam kol kovecha is not, the literal translation of that is not who look to you. It is those who hope in you.
Hope for you, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The word kovecha, those who hope in you, let them not be in a state of busha, right?
Shame. Right.
Shame, right? Yeboshu, you know who should be shamed? The bogdim, right?
Bogdim, they come, yeah.
Right? The faithless, let them be disappointed. Rekam, empty-handed, let them end up that way. Yeah, like all of Hamas, right? Let them
Yeah.
all end up, those bogdim, right? Let them end up rekam. Go.
Derachecha Adonai hodieni. Let me know your paths, O Lord. Orchotecha lamedeni. Teach me your ways.
Right. Now,
Hadricheni.
immediately upon seeing this, I see Jonathan is here, so we'll utilize other. Jonathan, what do those words right away remind you of?
It's often we say it's more than once we say that.
I
Not
know.
just in
I want
this-
to see where Jonathan knows where he's heard those words before. Derachecha Adonai hodieni or hotecha lamedeni.
Moshe.
Moshe. But
Who said Moshe?
Sounds like Moshe, yes.
Yes, right. Where?
At
At
the
Sinai,
Hasna, yeah.
up at Sinai.
Subsequent to the chapter, chapter 32 to 34, subsequent to the Egil sin, this week's parasha, correct? Right.
Isn't that Tzaddik Baralo, really?
Well, that's what the rabbis say,
Yeah.
right? That's not what those words say. The rabbis say, well, what does he mean by that? And
Yeah.
Jonathan, could you read that again? You'll notice he switches the words. Well, somebody read it in Hebrew. Or the idiot,
Jonathan, but
right?
he's muted.
He's muted. Yeah, Mars.
No,
you have-
it wasn't me who read it. It's hard for me to be on and off of mute. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. No problem. I won't come back to you. Mars, read the pasuk in the Torah.
You mean in Shemot? I don't have that open.
Open it up.
Tell me where I'm going.
You're going to Shemot. You know where that is in chapter 30, about chapter 33. That's
There you
it.
go. Sammy's got it.
Oh, Sam, you got it. Hodieni na derachecha. Over here is derachecha Adonai hodieni. So, Sammy, since you're the one who said it, what is what is the common thing that you see happening here in this verse 4?
The desire to know, a desire to come closer.
No. What is the
ABC.
technical thing? It reverses
ABC
them.
should be a.
It
ABC
puts
should be a.
the derachecha first and the hodieni second. In the Torah, it's hodieni Adonai derachecha. Over here, it's derachecha Adonai hodieni.
Yeah.
It reverses. That's the typical way of taking of cross-referencing it. You take it, you flip the words around, but do you end up with the same exact meaning?
Yeah, you do, I think, pretty much.
Yes, right? But any other, let me know your ways. Over here, your ways, God, let me know. Same exact thing. You just flip it, and therefore you recall it and you know it. And then Orhotecha lemedeni, yeah. Go ahead, Sammy. Since you're with us, if you don't mind, I'll continue talking to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's Orhotecha lemedeni?
Show me your ways.
Right. No, not show me.
teach me.
Teach me.
Teach me. Over here, it's I want to learn it. Teach it to me. Right. The first part of it is hodieni, make it known to me. Right. Make it known to me could be like reveal it. Over here, he says, I want you to teach it to me. I want to learn it. There's a difference between make it known to me and teach it to me. Teach it to me is like what you'd call taking the idea of making a note and clarifying the hodieni or extending the hodieni. You got that, Mars?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, now we can continue, Mars.
Okay.
And with Modi'in.
Hadricheni ba'amitecha v'lamedeni.
Now,
Guide
what
me
did you
in,
do? You took the previous verses. Look at, what did you take, Morris?
took
Hadricheni is like
and-
derachecha, right?
yeah,
Hadricheni ba'amitecha, in your
Wait,
in your true way,
in your
in your
truth.
truth,
that's in there.
Ve'lemedeni, and teach me, ki ata Elohi Yishi.
for you are God, my deliverer.
Right. Otecha kiviti kol hayom. It is you who I hope and put my hope in all the day.
Yeah, they
Everybody with
translated
us on
again
that?
as I look to you.
So in
I
verse
hope,
3,
yeah.
when he talked to, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah.
That word otecha kiviti, the word kiviti means I hope, right? It is you that I hope in all the day. In verse 3, he said that those gam called kovecha, the ones who don't have hope, right? Right? They should not be in a state of busha. It is the bogdim who should be in a state of busha. Now he says is as relating to the idea of hope, right? Right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
As to hope, I hope in you all the day. Is there anything that we read so far that's similar to Otecha Kiviti Kol Hayom, Joe Namer?
That we read before?
Yeah.
I'm not
anything
understanding.
wrong?
Well,
What do you mean before?
Before
Right.
this verse, in the previous 4 verses, what was similar to Otecha Kiviti Kol Hayom?
What, no, he says that Gam
In verse 1, he says, Elecha Adonai Nafshi Yaseh, I turn to you, right?
Mhm.
So that's very similar to it. Otcha kiviti kol, it's to you. Elecha, otecha kiviti kol hayom. It's in you that I hope all the day. Elecha, like to you. Elecha Adonai nafshi yaseh. Just pointing out that it's an emphasis of that idea, right? I turn to you, right? I turn to you. It is to you I turn. It is to you that I put my hope in all the day, right? Vav. Mars.
Zechor rachamecha Adonai, v'chasedecha kimei olam hema. O Lord, be mindful of your compassion and your faithfulness.
Remember,
old
Zechor,
as
remember your mercy and your compassion. Why? Kimei olam hema.
They are old as time.
They're eternal. Correct?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
promised. It was promised. Eternal.
Correct. So now we turn to why you asked why it's called Nefilat Apayim. When you bend over, right? And you put your hand and because you say these words. Go, Mars. Hatot.
Hatot neurai, ufishai, al tiskor.
Al tiskor. Don't remember the sins, right, of my youth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't al tiskor. Don't remember them, right? Kiasecha zechor li, right? What does that mean?
In keeping with your faithfulness, consider leman tuvcha Adonai, what is as befits your goodness.
Okay.
What is in as befits your goodness, O Lord.
Right. So don't remember hatot neurai, kehastecha in your compassion zechorli ata leman tubicha Adonai, because of your goodness. Yeah. So I have a question before we go further. It's hard to go further without asking this question. When he says the sins of my youth, does that mean that the person who's reading this can't be 16?
Yeah.
Or does that mean that the person who's 80 says this? 50,
Well-
30? Is there anybody who cannot say this?
He's not a teenager anymore.
It sounds like he's referring back to his youth.
Yeah.
Well, a teenager could say, don't remember the sins of my youth that I'm in right now.
Maybe.
Possible, no?
Yeah, possible.
You don't like it too much. I see that.
Hey, just you'd think he's a little older. That's it. You could even say he's in his 20s. He's just not a.
Yeah, but
Nor would I.
you know, you're not going to.
Look at that as more.
It reminds us.
Yeah,
of
but
the
I'm
two
not
things-
going to be held culpable necessarily for something that I did when I was now. What I did when I was 17. I'm not that same person anymore. I'm not any. I don't even relate to that person.
I don't
So
know if
why
we
should
say-
I? Why should I
don't-
tell God? Don't remember what I did when I was 17 years old.
You know, we keep saying this Mizmor every day for the soldiers, and it says, "Im avonot tishmor, yeah, Adonai mi ya'amod." So it's kind of the same thing. Don't remember my sins. Sounds like similar refrain.
That's true, right? If you're gonna judge us from our sins, we're up the creek without a paddle. But this one is referring back to youth.
But youth could also be sins
Same
that
thing, you know?
your sins of your youth.
Could be what?
Don't hold
Sins
me
that
to
you
it,
are
know?
like that you are ignorant of, or
Well, it doesn't say that.
Nah, it's
When you
but-
refer to your youth, you refer to what you didn't know, you didn't understand. That's
yeah,
what you
you're
mean?
different. Don't hold me accountable for that, and for my but for
Right.
Shai and my current and my transgressions, whatever.
Okay, let's hold on that because we discussed it a little bit. Let's go forward. Tov v'yashar Adonai, al ken yoreh hata'im badarech. Go ahead, Morris.
Good and upright is the Lord, therefore he shows sinners the way.
God is Tov and Yashar, right? Al ken yoreh, right? He will. That's like a teacher, right? He'll show them, right? The sinners the way,
the way where? Where's that mean the way? The way out?
the right way, the right thing to do.
Oh,
The right thing to do. He'll help them, right?
okay.
Right? Yadrich anavim b'mishpat, vilamed anavim darko. Go, Morris.
He guides the lowly in the right path.
There's the
Teaches the-
derech word, right? That derech word, derechecha, right? There's over here. It's yedrich, right? He'll lead you on the path. He'll guide you, right? Anavim, who anavim, the lowly, yeah, the humble, b'mishpat, in justice, right? Vilamed, and he'll teach the anavim, right? Again, that word anav, darko, his way. So, Morris, quickly, what are the two words over here that are the key words that occurred before?
Yeah, what's with all this?
Huh?
What are the two words that occurred before? You mean Yadrech and
Yadrech and-
Lamed?
Derech and
That's
Right.
going over there.
Right, Lamedeni.
right, or right. Hodeini Adonai derachecha and yadecha navim mishpat is you're expanding. You're going forward with that idea. Yadecha navim mishpat vilamed, and he'll teach anavim that core, right?
Right.
I'm going back
Right.
just so you see the words. Hadricheni lamedecha velamedeni, and teach me because I hope in you. So Tov Yashar, he's good. Okay, and Yoreh. Again, that's like teaching. Hataim badarich. The derech. Yadrech.
Everything here is
derech,
derech.
Anavim b'mishpat. Vilamed anavim darko. You get it, Morris?
Yeah. So do you think Anavim is a reference to Moshe also? Anav Mikol Adam?
Maybe, but it's Anavim. It's all those who are like that, right? All.
Right. It just, yeah, this sounds like Anavim is more, I don't know. Would you call this something closer to people who are, I don't know.
Good people.
Like,
Good
you think it's good people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're coming with, let's say, for lack of a better word, quickly, they're wholehearted and they're sincere, right? And he'll teach them mishpat, and he'll teach, right? He'll guide them and teach them his way.
Right.
Now look at the next verse again.
But everything is his
All
ways.
or
His
hold
ways.
other- I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
I mean, whenever I read this in the mornings, I always think everything is has to do with your path, his ways, guide me. It's like
It's a non-stop extension of those words.
guide me,
In your mind that
show
are
me
here.
your way. Where's my path? Everything is pathways, or
Right. Well, here we are in 10. Kol Archot Adonai. Now he talks about God's pathways, right? His paths. Kol Archot Adonai. They're Hesed and Emet, compassionate and true, right? Morris.
Yeah. Yeah, which also came up before Chesed and Emet. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. But do you remember where it came up?
Kechestecha zechor li, and v'hasadecha came up a couple of times.
Zechora hamechanai v'hasadecha ki me'olam hima. And then kasecha zechor li, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and ve'emet was ba'amitecha.
Right. So, but now it's important that you catch what goes on over here. Kol Orchot Adonai. Translate Morris without looking at English. Kol Orchot Adonai Hesed ve'emet. Go.
All of God's paths are righteous and
Compassion
true.
and true.
Compassion and true. Lenotzre, I don't know.
Lenotzre berito ve'edotav.
so isn't that
Notzer, right, is like, call it for now like the English, keep, right?
Like for the keepers of his covenant and his testimony.
And it's
Something like that.
testimonies,
Testimonies.
right? Right?
Yeah, they say.
Let's see how they translate. All the Lord's paths are steadfast love for
those who keep the decrees of his covenant.
Decrees of his covenant, right?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't say decrees anywhere, right?
No, it's Biritov ve'edotav. It's two different things.
Right. Right.
So this is Noser Hesed ve'emet. How do you say?
Noser
Erachum v'hanun.
Right.
Yeah.
Joey is remembering when Moshe Rabbeinu, subsequent to when he says, you all remember, of course, that's going to end up where he hears Noser Hesed alafim Noser avon v'fesha v'hata'a v'nakeh lo yenakeh poked avon abot. Everybody remember that over here?
Yeah.
Good. So now a question for everybody in the room. All of this was about being taught God's ways, right?
Right.
As we said, right? God is Tov Yashar Adonai, therefore Yoreh Hata'im Badarev. He's Yadrech Hanavim Mishpat. I'm going backwards now. He's right. Zechor Adonai Hasadecha Ki Me'olam Hima Hadricheni V'Amedeni in 5. Ki Ata Lo Yashi Otcha Ki Kol Hayom Derechech Adonai Hodeni in 4. Right? I'm reviewing it so you all have it fresh in your mind. This is what he's looking for. And then in verse 10, he says, do you know who?
Yeah.
Does that
Which,
sound like that Morris, what does that mean to you? I'm asking you, Morris, what does it mean to you?
Well, I was gonna say that sounds like Noser Chesed, and
Which is what Joey said, right?
yeah.
But he's
But Betty
right?
Yeah, Birito and Edotav is also a synonymous term. In other words, that'll be it says an ed between you and me. So Edotav is like that. Also another word for covenant. The keepers of that relationship.
Right. So is this telling you the answer? This is very, 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 I'm underlining now. This is very important. What does it mean that you are being given a piece of information? You were talking about Orhot Adonai, right? Right? Hodi Adonai derachecha. Orhot is the way, the path. So now it's making a major statement. The Orhot of Hashem, all his ways are Chesed ve'emet. But you know to who? L'noseh be'odotav, be'ito be'odotav.
To those who keep their side of the bargain, it's a brit, no? It's two ways.
Right. So those are the people that get treated with compassion and truth. Right?
Well,
they're faithful, compassionate, and faithful. God's paths are compassionate, faithful to the ones who keep the covenant.
Yeah.
So is he sort of stopping after the 9 verses of asking to be taught and to be shown, and for the person who is in despair, who is hoping in God, what is he saying to that person? That only happens to the people who keep the covenant?
Well, in this statement, that pasuk in 10, he's saying yes. The chesed ve'emet is towards those who are keepers of the covenant.
Yeah.
But if you're so
if you're not a keeper, is he stating the non-keepers of the covenant? Is he stating it like that? Oh, the non-keepers of the covenant, they're not going to be in this thing.
Well, it seems that's
just 1 second. I have to get a book. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. You can continue talking. I'll be right back.
If you're appealing to his hesed, then it's beyond, because the guy who keeps the covenant is sort of deserving. What about the guy beyond that? If you're appealing to his hesed, that's a different element. It's for maybe even the non-deserving.
Well, I would say like this, since we're comparing this to 34 in Shemot, you're gonna get the statement over there that's gonna say Noseh avon v'afesha v'chata'a b'nakeh. So in other words, you're also over here saying
he has the Ma'an Shimcha. Do it for he does the same argument here.
Yeah, but chatot neurai ufshai al tiskod. In other words, don't let those things be a barrier, which in 34 you say noseh avon, and let those things not be there. So it is saying that let the things that the good things that the person speaking, look at the positives, not the negatives, referring back to this statement of Noser Chesed Alafim, Noseh Avon Vafesha V'chata V'nakeh Lo Yinakeh. So it's referring back to that.
That's going to go on to say those people will not be left.
I'm agreeing. Innocent. I'm saying this perek of Tehillim is saying chatot nurai ufesha'ai al tiskor.
But remember the goodness, you're saying.
Right.
It's sort of like in
Kechastecha zechor
Like
liata.
Yirmiyah, chapter 2. I remember you in your youth when you were.
Which is both sides of this statement. Noser chesed alafim, noser avon v'vesha v'chata'at v'nakeh lo yanakeh. Don't let that.
The nakeh lo yanakeh Morris is where we stop, but that statement goes on to say the nakeh lo yanakeh. But
I'm agreeing. Yeah,
they will not be held innocent, right? They won't be.
I understand. That's why I think he's saying again, chatot neurai ufsha'ai al tiskor. Don't let those things be the things that are coming to mind, so to speak. Let it be the positives. Kchastecha zechor liata leman tufcha. Right.
But the statement that you're jumping ahead. The statement that's being said later says you never get off the hook, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You're not going to be off the hook. He's noser but v'nakeh lo yanakeh. He's poked avon abot. Transgenerational punishment is going to go on through the third into the fourth generation. The fourth generation ends up going free.
Yeah. I was just saying he's referring back to the terms that are coming up in the same
that's for sure. You can't
it's
full of the terms that are going on in chapter 33 and 34 in Shemot. No question about it. It's an elaboration of what's going on over there. It's talking about it. It's through prayer. Let's hold on now because it's late already. It's 8:30. Let's just read a little more because we'll get hung up. I'm gonna just push it through a little bit, even though I'd love to keep talking. Leman Shemcha Adonai, because
that's his
of
argument. No.
What?
That's the argument over there. In Shemot. Because your name, Leman Shemcha. Do it for your sake.
The argument of Moshe, you mean when at the very beginning after the Egel?
Yeah.
Right, they're going to say you couldn't do it.
Right.
That's correct. Leman Shemcha Yud Kevavke, because of your name Yud Kevavke, Vesalachta La'avoni Ki Rab Hu. Go Mars.
Pardon my iniquity, though it be great.
Right.
What's Kirab Hu? What I don't.
Because it's great. There's a lot, right? So because of your name. Well, what does it mean because of your name, Mars?
It means because of the idea of that name. That's what it's referring to.
What does that have to do? What? And therefore what?
Because that's again coming back to 34, and I'm already there. But it's saying that those qualities are associated with this concept of Yud Ke Vav Ke,
which those qualities are
right.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, which means that the English over here is terrible because they don't get this point. It's Leman Shemcha Yud Ke Vav Ke. They say, as befits your name, O Lord. You know, they're not getting the reference.
That's right. And you know what the words of this Mizmor are? Right here, Leman Shemcha Hashem, 80th word. Right?
Got it.
And you're at, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you're right at the center here. Right at the center. V'salachta la'avoni kirabhu. Mi ze ha'ish yireh Adonai. Look at the play on the word Yud Resh over here. Mi ze ha'ish yireh Adonai yorenu b'derech yibhar. Go. Who is the man?
Whoever fears the Lord.
Right.
Well, they say whoever fears the Lord, he shall be shown what path to choose.
Okay, but the mizeh is an expression, right? An idiomatic expression. Mizeh, who is the one, right? Right. Mizeh, who is the mizeh ish? Who is the man? Yireh Adonai, right? So they say whoever fears the Lord, right? Yorenu b'derech yibhar. That person who fears God, God will yorenu. God will show him the path to choose. Back to the path, right? You need to be God-fearing to understand this path, correct?
Yeah.
To learn this path. You have to be so he's saying you have to be God-fearing. That's now becomes a key element in understanding how you end up with the being taught the way, etc., etc., etc. Now let's keep reading. Nafsho betob talin, go Morris, his life.
He shall live a happy life.
What is that word, talin?
In goodness he will sleep. No?
Yeah,
Talin?
like he'll sleep. Vizaro yirash aretz.
Tov talinu. What are you talking about?
That's right. That's right. Nafsho betov talin, vizaro, and his children, yirash aretz, will inherit the land.
Right.
So there's that famous inheritance of the land. There'll be a future for them. Right? His life and good, right? Right? They say he shall live a happy life, right? That's how they translate it. See the difficulty they're having.
Terrible translation.
Very terrible. And his children will inherit the land. Sod, now look at the next words. I hope you're all listening, to those who are attending today's class, because this is important. Sod Adonai l're'av. Back to the ones who fear. Remember he said, that person has shor b'torah. Now he says the sword of God is to those who fear him. Ubrito, and his covenant l'hodiam, to make known to them.
Right.
Jonathan, are you still not able to interact?
No, I'm good.
You're good now? You see this word sword of God is to those who fear him?
Mhm.
Coming back to what we just now spoke at in verses 12 and 13. Teach them, right? Now, so we talked about Yireh Hashem in 12, right? And now in 13 we said his children will inherit the land. And now in 14, it makes a statement to you about everything that was set up until now. The sword of God is to those who fear him.
Right.
And his covenant, now sword and berit are being used in parallel here. You know how Tehillim works, right? It makes a statement, a bicolon usually, or a tricolon, and then the second statement either enhances or expands on or defines, and so on and so forth, the prior colon. Correct, Jonathan?
Right.
So over here, the sword of God is for those who fear him. And the berit of God, is to be made known to them.
What sword mean? What does that mean?
What is a sword? A.B. Mallow, what's a sword?
Usually a hidden.
A secret.
Secret,
right?
Hidden.
Right? It's like a secret, right? They call it over here the counsel of the Lord, right? Right?
Yeah, but at the bottom of the page, they call it or secret,
secret, right? The sword of God, the secret of God is to those who fear him. In other words, the secret meaning the thing that, listen carefully. That's why I want Jonathan's attention, because you're busy. I want everybody to understand now. Wasn't the beginning of this was the one of Hode'eni Adonai Derachecha? Is Sammy still with us? I guess not.
Yes.
You are. So Sammy, you remember when we said that you remember we said and we said it flips it, it flips the words to catch your attention, that it's referring back. You remember?
Yes.
That statement, I'm scrolling back to it on the screen. That statement is the very opening of the Mizmor. Don't let the one in verse 3, those who hope in you, Don't let them be in a state of busha. Let it happen to them. And then right away in verse 4, he says, I want you to make known to me hodieni your derech and your orah and your path lemedeni teach. I want to make it known to me and teach it to me. What? Your derech and orhotech and your path. Now, when we get to this point, he says the sword of God. Doesn't it sound like he's referring back to when the person said in the prayer, show it to me, and you're being told, well, the secret, right? You don't know it. So could you use the word, everybody please pay attention now. It's hard to do this through the phone.
Everyone needs to go on mute. Someone needs to go on mute.
Oh, all right. Someone's making noise. The sword of God, it sounds like it's referring back to that original question. Sammy, if had it, can you stay with us for a minute?
I am. I'm with you.
Okay, so Sammy, does it sound to you like this now? Wait, someone's making noise. Is anybody in a car?
2732.
Yeah, me.
Oh, yeah, could you
I'm trying to
mute?
but I'm driving. Fine, hang on.
Okay. He'll mute it when he can. Don't worry. Next.
Okay, gotcha. So sword Adonai l're'av, right? The secret of God. We'll use the word secret now, Sammy. The secret of God is to those who fear Him, and His berit lehodiam, to make known to them. Over there, he said, right, the Moshe Rabbeinu statement that when he was praying to God, right? I want to read to you what he said. He says, right? Make it known to me. Over here he says, well, the sword of God is to those who fear him. In other words,
wouldn't sword be more like hidden? It's the
that's what a
opposite of
secret is. A secret is something that's hidden. Right?
Right. So because he keeps
Same
saying
thing.
make it known, so it's hidden. He wants it to come out.
So he says the sword, that sounds like it's referring back to the thing that he said, make it known to me. I don't know it. I don't understand it. I don't teach it to me. So now he says that sword of God is to those who fear him. Right? You have to be a God-fearer to get that. One.
Right.
Two, the berit of God, Lehodiam, and his covenant to make known to them, right? To who? To the God-fearers. Sod Adonai l're'av, and his covenant, Lehodiam, to make known to them. That Lehodiam goes all the way back. I'm going back, right, to where he said in verse 4, Derechecha Adonai hodieni, right? Lehodiam, make known to me. Or hotecha lemedeni, teach me. So now, when you're at this juncture, you go, so Adonai, you know who gets that? L're'av, those who fear him. And his covenant, right, to make known to them. Where did we have the word covenant come up before this, Morris?
Right.
Kol Archod Adonai, all the ways of God are Hesed Emet. Do you know who? Lenotzre Berito, to those who keep his Berit and Edot. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to fill in the blanks for you here. Morris, what's going on? We have the word Berit that came up twice in this Mizmor. It came up in verse 10. Now, down here in verse 14, you are being given the answer now, correct?
Yeah.
But you know who gets this answer? Only those who are l're'av.
Right.
So we're in the 25th report in Tehillim. I'm going to give you a piece of information that you're unaware of. How many times has the word covenant come up in Tehillim so far? It's the 25 out of 150. 1/6 of Tehillim's Mizmorim.
2.
None. It hasn't come up at all. This is the first time the word covenant comes up in Tehillim. And it comes up 2 times. And it comes up 2 times. And it comes up 80 words apart. 26 words apart. Sorry, something like that. I'll show you the chart. We probably won't get to it tonight. We're already an hour into the class. So now this sword, he now calls it a sword. He says only those who fear God can get the sword of God, and his covenant is made known to them. Others cannot get this. So what is it that you got to get? Anybody, Joey Namer, anybody.
Okay,
John,
so if we're
Andy.
going to go back to, there's 2 ways I don't understand here. One is either because you have Moshe asking to show his ways, right? He's telling me, show me your ways. He wants to know his ways. It's stored or it's hidden from him. So in those episodes, either after the Meraglim or over here, he asks him to show me your ways. So that could be related here, or his ways hidden.
I wasn't
and he's
asking you that.
praying.
I wasn't asking you that. I was asking you what, without going into, forget about history now. When Sod Adonai L'Re'av, what does that mean? It means that you can't get the answer to the question that you're asking. Only God-fearing people can get that answer. It only gets, the Berit only is known to those, right? To those people. You have to be God-fearing to get this. I'm asking you, what does it mean you have to be God? It says very clearly, the answer. You know who is going to be to make known to you the Berit? That only happens L'Re'av. Mars?
Really? Yeah.
Say something, Mars.
No, that's what it says.
What's
it
it?
mean?
I'm not clear with what you're trying to figure out. It's pretty straightforward.
Oh, what's straightforward? Who knows the answer to God's ways?
People who are God-fearing.
And okay, the guy's talking is God-fearing. He wants to know the ways. He's God-fearing.
No, but in other words, it's saying that.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at it as it's going back to the
I don't know what
statement
that
of
means.
in 34 of Shemot that who got that initial message? It was to the ones that feared him. Those are the people that were able to understand this idea.
What idea?
Nobody did.
Of God's qualities, God's those traits, so to speak.
You're leaving something important out. Everybody is leaving a critical point out. I wanted you to try it. Those traits, you're forgetting what the traits are attached to. I'm going to read it to you. Of course, it's referring to 33 and 34. This week's parasha. But listen to the words. He tells God, I want to know your ways. So it says, make the second tablets, right? And he does, and so on and so forth. And then it says, go back to verse 17. Everybody open up now. Now let's look at verse 17 in chapter 33. I'll do what you said. And I have made known to you with the name, right? And I know you with the name. And he said, show me your kabod, right? God answers him, Ani a'abir kol tubi al panecha. I will make pass all my goodness before your face. V'karati b'shem Adonai, I will call out in the name of Yud-Kevavke, God is saying, before you. V'hanoti et asher ahon, v'rihamti et asher ahem. But I'll have mercy on I want to have mercy on, right? Right?
Mhm.
And I'll have compassion who I want to have compassion on, right? Not you're not going to dictate to me who that's going to be. I'll make that decision, not you. Right?
Right.
Because in the previous one, he told God, right? He says he wants God to do that. So he says, yeah, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to decide that, right?
Wasn't.
Ve'yomer lo tuchal lirot et panai. He tells him in verse 20, chapter 33 of Shavuot, this week's Pesach, Ve'yomer lo tuchal lirot et panai. You can't see my face. Because a man can't see me and live. Verse 21. Ve'yomer Adonai, God said, Hine makom iti. There's a place to live in Isata al-Asur and stand on the rock. Yeah, and it will be Ba'abor kivodi, when my glory passes by. V'samticha b'nikrat hasur. I'm going to put you in the crevice, right, in the rock. And I'm going to cover you. My hand is going to cover you until I pass. Going to go look like this. Look at me if you see the screen, right? I'm going to go like that, and I'm not going to let you see until I pass. And then I'm going to take my hand away. And you're going to see my back. But you're not going to be able to see my face. I'm going to come, I'm going to pass. And then I'm going to go, and then when I take my hand away, you're going to see my back.
He always taught us this one. He always taught us this. Yeah.
Ve'yomer Adonai el Moshe, make second luchot. I'll write on them what's on the first. Get ready for the morning. No one comes up with you. And he makes the second ones. And then in verse 5, the Adonai Banavik, the same was Sham, and he stood with him there. Vayikra b'shem Yud Kevavke. Remember the Leman Shemcha Yud Kevavke and Amazwar, the center of the whole thing. Vayikra b'shem Yud Kevavke. God calls out in Yud Kev Ve'abor, and he passes. Adonai al Panav. He passes before him, and he calls out. Adonai Yud Kevavke Yud Kevavke. El Rahum V'Hanun. He's a merciful and compassionate. Erech Apayim, right? Slow to anger, but chesed and has a lot of compassion and faithfulness. Noser, remember our Mizmor, L'nosre b'itov eldotav, in the pasuk that we read in Kol Hodonai, Chesed Emen L'nosre b'itov eldotav. That's the first time covenant comes up in Tehillim, right? Mm-hmm. All the ways of God are Hesed to those who are Noseh b'itov eldotav. Over here he says, Noseh Hesed la'alafim. Noseh avon v'fesha v'hata'ah v'nakeh. He forgives, right? Avon and pesha and het, right? Hesed to thousands. V'nakeh lo yenakeh. But he will not hold the person guiltless.
Accountable.
What? Right?
Yeah, okay.
He won't hold him unaccountable. Poked avon abot. He visits the sin of the fathers on the sons, on the sons, on the third generation, until the fourth generation. The minute Moshe hears that, and he bows down, and then he makes the prayer that God accepts, because up until now, for all these 3 chapters, he did not accept the prayer. Right? Now God said, and now he says, if I find there is, but now he says the right words. Go in our midst. God's kept saying no, but he tells God, you know why you should go in our midst? Because they're a stiff-necked people. He kept shying away from saying those words. Now he says, Ki am kishe oref. Do it because they have free choice, they're stiff-necked. and they're going to make bad moves.
Noach.
And forgive us, and then give us our inheritance. God says, okay, he puts it, God, so to speak, puts it, says, deal. He shakes on that. Now you got it right. I'm going to make covenant for all the people that would never see this. Is amazing. But I'll call him you'll see God's action. They're awesome. And then I'm going to hold off on reading the rest of it. I'm going to wipe out the Amori and so on and so forth. So when Moshe gets it, now listen carefully. Moshe didn't get it for chapters from the time of the Egil, which started in chapter 32, right? Until now, Moshe didn't get it. Show me a way, didn't work. Show me a glory, didn't work. Finally, Moshe gets it. After he hears until and then he hears about Nakeh lo Yanakeh Poked everyone aboard Al Shalishim. Al Banim, Al Bnei Banim, Al Shalishim, Al Rebeim. Right? Now Moshe gets it, and he makes the prayer, and he says, forgive them because they're stiff-necked, forgive them. And God says, deal. We have a covenant. And that's the words. You have to remember that when he finishes talking, he says, the words of God, very next word, I'm cutting a covenant, right? Now, there's no accident why the first time the word covenant comes up in Tehillim is in the 25th Mizmor. AB, are you following now?
Yeah.
And God's first words over there in response to all these things that reminded us of these chapters over here is here, and you are being told in this Mizmor with the word Beri 2 times, you know who? The next time you're going to hear it, right? Sword Adonai that they have, the sword of God, that sword is to those who fear him, and made known to them. We're not going to finish the Mizmor now because it's too late. I want everybody to please join in and listen and participate now. What happened that now there is clarification and the answer in the prayer where the person is in a state of despair and turns to God and wants to understand God's ways and wants to be taught, is being taught, reminds you of chapters 32 to 34 in 100 ways. The word covenant, first time in Tehillim, the word covenant, God says, now you got the covenant. The answer, the last statement about it is Sod Adonai l're'av u'brito lo di'am. What is this sword that is now supposed to be clear to you, the reader, that it's to those who fear him and their bidi to be made known to them, those who fear him? What? I'm trying my best to set you up for it. I want to hear from the room now. What happened in this Mizmor? You were given insights into 32, 33, and 34. You are being given explicit words to clarify what took place in 32, 33, and 34. The last words are the sword of God is to those who fear him. That's who knows. That's who gets known. Well, what did it say? It said, "No, say
you won't know till later."
Oh, Moshe goes, "Oh, I got it."
There's going to be backsliding, and how God metes out his punishment, we don't really know, but he will accept repentance.
I think you'll know later. Like you won't know now. You'll know later.
What about God's ways are known that now he's got it, Moshe? What does Moshe say that God says, oh, we got a deal now? We got a covenant.
You have to trust me.
No, Moshe Rabbeinu says something to him.
Because Kisham, whatever.
That's right. Ki am kesheoref. Moshe Rabbeinu gets
He's saying that there's going to be backsliding. There is going to be
not
challenges.
right. No, they're gonna blow it.
Right.
They are gonna blow it.
Correct.
Forgive them because they're going to blow it.
It's what he tells Noah. It will not destroy you anymore.
Well, but
Because they were bad. They are just bad. It's just gonna happen. I'm trying to find the pasuk. Go ahead.
I know, yeah. It's okay. We know what you're referring to.
Right.
So what is the sword that comes to the surface, Morris?
What is the sword?
You'll know later. You won't know now.
What does that mean?
You can't know what's happening now. When
you can't know what's happening now.
But that
You only
has
know
to do
later.
with
when you
That's
look
true.
back later.
So therefore what?
That's
So therefore what?
Trust me.
No, more than
the
that.
Berit is going to be in.
What?
The Berit is going to be in play. It will always be there for you. In other words,
It'll always be in play, but what isn't the person who's speaking in this Mizmor in a state of despair?
Yes.
right? But he knows
There's no
that
hope left, correct? There's no hope. He's in despair,
there's
correct?
no
We
hope.
started the
They're
class
stiff
with that.
necked. They're always going to fall back. They're always going to be,
The pasuk.
even though they fall backwards, the Berit will always be open. They could always come back.
And therefore, Morris, you're completely silent. You're not getting anything.
I'm trying to understand what you're directing us to.
Don't try and understand. Just listen. Joey just said it. AB said it. You're touching on it. If you want to understand how it works, this is how it works.
Yeah.
This is the reality.
So what do you want to say? That sword
You're not going
Adonai,
to stop this punishment that's going on for the 3 generations.
right?
Yeah.
You blew it.
Yeah.
Forgive them because they blew it. Right?
Yeah.
When does Moshe want relief? When he's praying.
Right away.
Is there any relief coming?
Nope.
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 Yeah.
V'naker lo yenaker. No, lo yenaker. Poked avon avot al banim al bimim al shloshim al rebeim. That's the reality of what it is.
Yep.
And the people who fear God, right? Their covenant is made known to them. They understand this. They get it
Why?
because they accept it.
Oh, they get it or they accept it?
They accept
not
it.
the same
Therefore they
thing.
get it.
No, they just
That's
accept
the
it.
answer.
No, it's not the same.
The answer is you can't see my actions now. You're not going to see my actions now.
Right.
You're going to
right.
only see me in retrospect. You're
And you'll
not going
understand.
to get the
Mhm.
answer that you want today. It's
Yeah.
not going to be there today.
Hey, it's horses.
It's going to happen at a point in time in the future. You are not going to see that today.
So just trust me.
That's right.
That's the scary part.
Yes.
So
That's
live through it and just trust me.
Lidei Av. You know what the word Lidei Av means? Those who the
Yeah.
God-fearing people.
Like I said last week, it's not too comforting.
Oh wait, how are you translating these words? Sod Adonai Lidav. The secret, or are you saying, in other words, God is hidden?
This answer that you want, we're calling it a sword, right? Right?
Okay.
It's only
Now
for
that
Lidei Av.
one second. The answer about Deracheni, right?
Yes. Right.
or the end, so Isn't he asking that question? Hodi'en, make known to me now, and God is saying, he doesn't want it to be hidden from him. He wants it now. No, the answer is hidden.
We know. See, you're gonna find
No,
out
no,
later.
no. He's saying that answer is to only that sword. It's being called a secret now because he said, I want to know it. Nobody knows it. It's hidden. Nobody understands it. No one knows what it is. Moshe Rabbeinu is in the gigantic Navi. I want to understand it. Teach it to me. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that thing is only to those who fear him.
Okay. Again, it's not really too comforting.
Because the answer is that that's the way the world is set up.
So
I don't understand the Hebrew.
But
I don't understand the pasuk. What do you? Shouldn't it be Sod Adonai Lirav Uberito Lohod?
And his covenant, the sword and think of the sword and the covenant as the same thing.
I got it, but I'm saying here's the two parts: Sod Adonai Lirav.
And you know what else is to Lirav?
Yeah,
his berit to be made known to his Yirav.
Yeah, but what's this word Lahodiam?
To be made known. It's made known to them.
So sword is and Lahodiam are opposite terms.
No.
Yes?
Sword is something
I understand. Sword is comparative to Biritor, right? Sword Adonai and Biritor are comparative.
No, I don't know what that means.
No, but sword and the Hodiam are opposites.
No, listen, Mars.
Those are opposite sides of the coin.
Sword
The
and the
sword
Hodiam. A secret
opposites.
and to be made known.
Oh,
Secret to be made known. The sword of God is Lirav in the middle. And is Berit, right? Lahodiam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
he's making his ways known, you're saying?
This can only be understand the sword to be, you know who knows the Berit? Lahodiam, what's made known to them? Lirav. You know who knows the sword? Lirav. You know who knows the Berit? The Yirav. That's who it's made known to.
They don't know it. They have to just trust it. They don't know it.
It's over here. Torah is giving you the answer. Okay,
so
that guy is.
So, like I said, the guy living through it is not really being comforted too much. You're just gonna have to live through it. 3 generations, 4 generations, but then we'll stop. But for now, you don't get a break.
And for now, that's right.
You don't get a break. You live through that.
But he's giving him a window into God's ways.
That's next generations from now.
Yes.
So you lived through the Holocaust. Tough.
But he says, but someone's going to see it.
The guy in 19. That's right. The guy in the middle of it is. Does it end for that guy?
Nope. He dies.
No.
He's finished. He's finished. So that's his trust factor. That I don't know, in a bunch of years, a couple of generations down the road, things will be better.
No, that's a guarantee. No, that's a guarantee by God.
After him,
that's a guarantee. And he says, if you want to know if the guarantee is a sketch, and this is a game, look back in time.
No, I understand, but that doesn't.
In World War II, the next day, and 1 hour later, you became a nation and one of the most powerful nations in the world.
Yeah, but 6 million people died.
I'm not answering that question now. I'm not. Listen to me. A natural outgrowth of free choice. You know what? Forgive them because they're stiff-necked means.
Yes.
It means because they're stiff, they're going to blow it.
Yes.
So God says, okay, I will forgive them, even if they blow it.
Yes.
But they blew it. If they blew it, the deal is over. Everybody should die, and the world should end. Well, look back in time. Are the Jewish people still here? 2,000 years later, or thousands, 2,500 years later. Are they still here?
Yeah,
Is that, so did God hold up his end of the bargain?
yeah, but we don't have a great history.
Okay,
But we're here. What do you mean? It's a
We're here.
miracle.
so AB
You
is
have no right to
expressing-
be.
AB is expressing, and I'm glad AB is not letting go. You know what AB's going? AB's saying, I hear your answer, but I ain't too happy. Morris, do
Not if I'm living in Germany.
you hear his answer?
Yeah.
Say something. You've been so silent for 20 minutes now.
I haven't. I've been talking. I think that there's a different answer for that. I don't know if we want to get into this whole.
Go ahead and
Uh,
answer it. I've been trying to get you to talk.
Well, we have to look into. We have to answer the question of what that event really was. I mean, I just heard a guy the other day. He said, when that
What
thing
event?
goes on,
What event?
what?
What event?
The Holocaust.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That this was a secular Israeli guy. He's saying, God was always there. It's we who haven't stepped up and done what we're supposed to be doing.
No one's arguing that point. I'm not going to
That's
even
all.
argue that point that there's not truth to it.
Oh, but what
Right.
AB's expressing what sounds like a Yirmiyahu in Mizmor 74 that we've been doing. That how could you sit there and watch that happen? How could you not
Exactly.
do something?
Exactly. Was that you, Sammy?
No, but
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
part of this guy's point is that God is not God is actively trying to keep these things at bay. In other words, God is working on these things, but
So
people
all
can
those people
fail.
were guilty? All those
God-
people
God
were held-
said
No, it
that
has
to
nothing to do
Moshe
with
and-
guilt.
They
One
were-
second.
they were
Why,
nothing to do with
Morris? Why do you feel like you're saying Hadush? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
that's all.
God said that just now to Moshe Rabbeinu. He says,
Right.
I'm going to put my hand up. You're not going to see what I'm doing, but I'm doing. But you just kept covering it.
Yeah, no,
You
I'm
can't
just
see it. I'm going to put my
Okay,
hand
then-
in front of your face. You're not going to see me. After I pass by, you're going to see my back.
all
You
right.
can't see me and live. Lo yir'ani ha'adam v'hai. He said that.
Yes.
Why are you saying what that guy and what you're saying now is any different than what we said until now?
I'm not. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it was different.
It's the same exact
I
thing.
think I think it is an answer. That's all.
Wait, and therefore you don't think AB should be disturbed?
Yeah, no, this is the results of what free will and the consequences of that structure are. If you want to have free will, then when free will is being done in other words, when evil is done, evil will be allowed to make its will done. That's the way that is. That's the meaning of it. That's the way that free will operates.
But AB still is entitled to feel very upset and annoyed and disturbed by.
I agree with Sammy. I agree with Sammy because in 74, you know what the Navi says? Well, what are you doing? What are you being passive for? Why don't you act? Why are you discounting AB's feelings of this is hard to swallow?
I think that's just the reality of what that thing is. I don't think that is not God is not acting. I think that question of God taking action is asking for God to take stronger action. But the result of that is that free will is still operative no matter what. That's
Do
the
you
way that
think
these
if
things are.
you were there in 1945, you think the same thing? You would say, "Oh, okay, God, you know what? In a couple of years, I don't know, next generation." You think you'd be
No, but
no? You're saying it now because you're sitting here in Brooklyn. But
no,
if
it's
you
not.
were
I'm
there,
not.
would you
I'm
say that? Would you say, "Okay, God, I know, I trust in you, God. Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll
Yeah.
see you in a couple of years."
I think the Holocaust is not as difficult as the first time these things go on, because that's where these people are really wondering how these things are operating. But when you go through, in other words, that was not the first mass destruction of the nation.
I know, but we lived through it. I mean, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just just got out of it. So it's not something I can't tell you about the Inquisition. I don't wasn't there.
No, I understand, but I'm saying we understand. The Torah tells you that these things are going to go on when the Torah's instruction is not the thing that's taking the is not the thing that's driving the way everything is being done. It says very clearly.
You're saying, Morris. I call what you're saying Sod Adonai L'Re'av.
Right.
What Morris is expressing is Morris is saying, you know what Yira'av is? The way Morris is talking now. That's the reality. Those who fear God, I'm using it right?
Yeah.
Those who fear God, that's the reality. They deal with that reality and understand that reality that way. Your question, AB, of the way you feel doesn't go away, and your feelings are validated while Morris's reality statements are validated. They are not contradictory.
That's correct. These aren't happy times. In other words,
they're devastating times. You could go crazy and lose your mind for those times. They could have to put you could die. You could commit who knows what.
Right.
But Sod Adonai L'Re'av U'B'ritol Hodi'am is saying this. I'm going to use this example to make the point. Esav and the two children are in her belly, in her womb. They're at odds with each other. And when they get older, one says, I'm going to die, who cares? Take the Bechorah, right? Mm-hmm. The other one says, I'll take it. One's talking about the future. The other one says, I'm going to die. Who cares what's going to happen in another 100 years from now?
Right.
Do you understand, AB?
Yeah.
Now that problem doesn't go away. That's internal. Of course, the two twins means it's going on in AB. It's going on in you now as we speak. As we speak, you go, I'm not happy with this.
But one wants immediate satisfaction.
You want relief, and you're not too happy with this answer. But at the same time that you're not happy, AB, do you disagree with what Morris says? That's the reality of free choice?
I do, but personally, I don't know that I would be that strong-minded if I'm living through it and say, you know what? Okay.
If you're living through it,
that's okay.
It could be overwhelming.
All you're saying is that's all good intellectually, but emotionally, I might lose my mind.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I know, but
that doesn't mean he's wrong, and that doesn't mean you disagree with him.
Right. Yeah. The feelings that go with that, and when you're in the straits, are you can't talk about that. It's too difficult. But
that statement is the horror is horror. You're going. I don't want this horror, and I don't like it, and I could never cope with it.
Yeah.
That's not going away. Morris is not saying he's not terrorized by that. All Morris is saying to you is that the answer was that you can't see me. It's you can only see me after I pass by. And that is what's known, that a question. The answer to that is to only those who fear him. I like to add on a statement now.
Okay.
That answer is a very mature answer, a very real answer. Nobody likes this answer. Some people understand it, but people don't like it. You know who one of those people are? Eob, Eliyahu Hanavi, Moshe Rabbeinu, Abraham,
Yirmiyah,
Hashofet Kol Haaretz Lo Ya'aseh Mishpat. Will the judge not do justice? Right? The 74th Mizmor. You're going to let that go on? You're going to let that keep going on? They're blaspheming your name.
Yonah wasn't happy with it.
What?
A lot of people.
Yonah
Yonah wasn't happy.
Yonah, you want me to do that? I'm leaving town. Jonathan, I saw you. You're still here. Jonathan, what'd Yonah say? I'm out of here. He took a slow boat to China. Am I right, Jonathan? Slow boat to China. I'm out of here. He got on a boat and he took it to China, and it's a slow boat to China. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm done. I want to die. And then at the end, he goes, I'd rather die. I want to die. I don't want to keep going. I can't handle this. I'm done. I'm cooked.
Look, these words are very relevant, so relevant today. It hurts. So are we happy with that answer today after what's going on?
I think it's an important answer. I think that you have to, at the same time that AB is expressing his thoughts, which are really Morris's thoughts also, of course, and at the same time that Morris is expressing his thoughts, which AB is in line and understands that Morris's thoughts, that they go on at the same time. The world answers this question as follows. Here's how the world answers the question. The world goes like this: magic, ooga booga, manipulate God, sacrifices, trinkets, Kabbalah stories, mysticism. The Christians, he coming back, he's going to heal you, he's born, he came back from death. The Muslims, a warlord, the killer, slaughterer. Oh, he's going to take care of you. Oh, this guy. The world doesn't like this answer. And the world invents religions which resolve all this question between AB and Mars. The world says, well, the black hats, you do things and things get better. You do the mitzvah and everything will be good. You do this, everything will be good. Everything will get better based on if you do these things. You offer a sacrifice, God's going to smell it, barbecue, delicious, and he's going to be happy. Things are going to get better. Take a thing, put a ring, go like this with your finger, the 5, and everything will get better, right? But, the people are into, what's it called? Superstition, right? Everybody doesn't like what we just spoke about in today's class. Everybody doesn't want to accept what we spoke about in today's class. All we see is Joey Namer's ear, a red ear. Nobody likes nobody likes. It's okay. You could listen. I'm kidding. Nobody likes this answer. AB's not happy, and you and all the people that we've spoken about in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of classes don't like this answer. Eyob is the only guy. Remember, Eyob tells all those guys, you all don't know what you're talking about. I don't deserve this. This isn't right. All your justifications are full of baloney. Right? And at the end of the book, what does God say? He called a spade. You guys all don't know what you're talking about. All those sketch philosophies about why it's going on. He turns to Eyob and he tells Eyob, you don't like what's going on? You can't handle this? Act like a fire-breathing dragon, impregnable, courageous, go out there, take evil, smash it, step on it, wipe it out, take over, make things happen, and things will get better. And you make it better, and I'll help you make things better. I'll work with you on it as a team. God, as a team, God, he's going to work with you together. It's part of your team. And we'll make it happen. Turn the situation around. The answer that God gives Eyob at the end of the book, people don't like that answer. Mm-hmm. You just ain't popular, Doc.
Yeah.
You're just not popular. That answer is a very hard answer. It's a real answer. It's the true answer. It's the honest answer. It's what life is all about. It's if you live in reality, that's the answer. That's what free choice is. That's what human beings could do whatever they want means. True free choice means a person can do true evil. True free choice means true evil, not sketch evil, not a little bit of evil. And A.B. Mala says, I don't like that. Let them die, he goes. Yemashivem, true evil. I don't accept it. He's right. He's right. He's right. But God-fearing people do not resort to false solutions. This is the real answer. This is the true answer. You're torn. You live like 74. How could you live like a novice? Answer: because I'm Yud Kevavke, and I'm eternal, and you're not. And I'm going to be in the deal with you, and I'm going to make it happen. But you have to live long term, not today.
Even though it's not perceptible to you.
Right.
God is there. It's a process, you're saying.
That's right.
So accept that process.
And
but
like
you still
Yaakov,
push for the answer. You still want the answer now.
You want the answer now. But
You never not push for that. You see, they keep pushing.
and you
They
should.
keep pushing.
No, and you should. God didn't say, God said, be like a fire-breathing dragon. Go for it. Go for it. I'll help you make it happen. He didn't say accept evil. God never says accept evil. He says don't accept evil. On the contrary, stand up. But what you're looking for the solution is going to come from you and me helping you.
Right. It's almost a challenge to show God, I'm trying this hard. Now you try. You try just as hard as I am.
Please help me, God. Please help me. God-fearing. They add. Those who are God-fearing go, God, please help me. Please help me. Please help me. Right? You keep turning to God. You know God helps people. You've seen God help people. He does help people. You've seen miraculous things happen. And if you look back on history, you see miraculous things that are beyond comprehension. You see Israel today as a miracle beyond comprehension. So you pray to God, you say, please don't let it lose. Please, it has shortcomings. Please give us a chance. Please give us an opportunity to turn it around. We'll get, like Abraham, listen, we'll find the right amount of people, we'll put a package together. What does God tell him when Abraham says we'll put a package together?
You got it.
You got it. You find 50 guys, I'm in. 40, I'm in. 40,
It's
30,
like
I'm in.
It's like you're daring God. Don't let me do more than you. If I'm doing this much, you got to do this much.
So God says, I'm in. He says, what if there's only 10? I'm in. I'm in. I'm in. Put a small package together. I'm in. I'm in. I'll work with you. We'll win. So Abraham says, okay. So we pray to God. We pray to God like Abraham prays. Whatever this is that's going on, right? God-fearing people, God, it's early. The nation has a lot of good things, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It's in its prenatal stations, Israel, after thousands of years. There's a lot of good people in Israel in areas of importance, in the army, in the government, behind the scenes, in the religious world. There's a zillion crazy people, but aren't there a nice solid core of really good people? A nice solid core.
And if we messed up a little bit in our youth, don't judge us by it.
That's it. Give us a chance now. We're exactly right. I said prenatal to you, right? Right? Prenatal. Don't judge us by we're still we're babies. 75 years for a nation. Started last week. We just got the package together. We've been out there for thousands of years in Galut. Don't forget that. It's early stages of the development of the nation. It's always what my prayer is. It's early. It's very early. It's the youth of the nation. Give it a chance. Please, you beg. Please Give it a chance. You beg with all your heart and soul. We didn't finish the Mizmor. Next week, we'll finish the Mizmor. Today was the first time. It's been 3-4 weeks of classes. I didn't want to do this in what do you call it? In person, but we succeeded today. We succeeded because of AB and Morris's final conversation that took place. That conversation that AB wouldn't back off and Morris wouldn't back off. The two of them are, of course, AB knows Morris is right. Morris knows AB's right. The split is hard, right? Hard to swallow, but it's the reality one. That's a God-fearing person. That's a person who doesn't fool himself with a sacrifice, with superstition, with sketch religions, with sketch answers, with all these silly things that have nothing to do with reality.
Right.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Thank you.
Excellent.
I gotta run.
Jonathan, wait, you can't leave me 6 faces here. Wait, did this make some kind of sense to you, anybody?
It makes a lot of sense, and yeah, we have a lot to absorb, and we should continue next week. Very good.
Okay, we're in the middle. I'll accept that. We're in the middle. All right.
Okay.
Have a good one, guys. We went
Okay.
very, very late, but it took a lot of discussion.
All good.
Internet's
got
okay. Okay.
Okay. Love you guys. Okay.
Okay, take care.
Great.
Yes, yes.
Enjoy.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good one. Morris, it was Hazak Baruch Morris. The class was good.
Yeah. Hazak Baruch too.
And we got somewhere in this class. So
Excellent.
okay, great. Come to Florida, everybody. Fadalu for the weekend.
You got it.
Okay, the best.
All right.